Hello and welcome to your online World Regional Geography course. I will be your instructor this term and my name is Jeremy Patrich. The purpose of this video is a couple different things. Is to first introduce myself to you, to also introduce, the course. What is World Regional Geography, and really talking about some of the expectations and outcomes that we have set, in front of us throughout these additional videos and modules that we'll continue to work through during this term. I'm really excited to engage and to work with you, and so I think the best way to start is to just introduce myself. So let's get going. So my academic journey begins a long time ago, but I am the direct product of the community college, system. I began at College of the Canyons many years ago, in which I transferred to Cal State Northridge, where I earned my bachelor's and master's in physical geography and geomorphology. I later attended courses at the University of North Dakota, where I earned a degree in cartography and digital map making, and I also completed a degree more recently through the University of Florida in geology. So I'm kind of what they consider a forever student, which I think, as a student, that's advantageous to have an instructor who is a forever student. I continue to take courses, whether it be through professional development or just because it sounds interesting to me. And I think that that's really important because I'm experiencing the same things that you're experiencing in your online or even your face-to-face courses. So I think that by having that, under my wing, it really helps me design my courses and to find ways to engage with my students the way that I wish to be engaged and the way that I wish things were designed. And I'll talk a little bit more about how that really has inspired the way that I run my courses. But once I was, graduated, as it were, I had the privilege and honor of teaching at community colleges, Cal States, and UCs across California. I've worked with institutions out of state, and I've even worked with organizations and institutions out of the country, as far as India. Why? Well, because, I am trying to create content and information and knowledge that is accessible, that is equitable, and that is available to everyone when it comes to the earth sciences. So that's really something that's very exciting and something I'm very prideful in what I do. I take a lot of pride in the work that I put forth, and really the knowledge that I try to acquire for myself to share with you, my students. And so I'm very appreciative for this opportunity to work with you this term and to share my knowledge of not just geography and the geosciences, but also about our world and the people that we interact with, around the globe. So let's talk about what is World Regional Geography. So what is World Regional Geography? Well, as the course description states, this course will analyze the interdisciplinary, connectivity, diversity of the world's regions, while exploring the processes and global change of their interactions with the environment and social identities of regional landscapes, cities, and peoples. So, a way that I view this course, now just hear me out, is very similar to how I review the famous 1964 New York World's Fair attraction, It's a Small World by the Walt Disney Company, where we are essentially getting into a little boat and we're going to journey the entire world, in a very short amount of time. But what we're doing is, as we visit each of these realms, we're going to discuss populations, the densities, the growth, decline. We're going to look at economics, socioeconomics. We're going to look at the topography, the landscapes, the geology, the agriculture, the language, the religion. So we look at really, the breadth of these realms, and we compare them to one another, and we work throughout the entire globe, within these very specific realms. So some of the areas that we're going to discuss this term, I just kind of wanted to pull up my list so we've got everything in order, that we're going to be working through. We'll be introducing first the world, the whole world as an entire entity. And then we're going to start dissecting it. We're going to start looking at, the regions within the realm of Europe, and Russia. We'll look at the Americas, we'll both North, Middle, and South America. We'll look at the Sub-Saharan Africa region. We'll also look at Southwest Asia and all of Asia in different regions, and we'll wrap up with Oceania and the Pacific. So we're going to look at specifically these realms. And again, we're going to dissect the people, the culture, the language, the religion, the economics, the agriculture, the business, all of these different attributes. And, to just really get a better understanding as to what it is that we have within this world. This course, I think, is really exciting, especially for those who, are attending a face-to-face institution, or even just live in California or in Los Angeles in particular, because we are the melting pot. So we get to experience students from around the globe. And this is a great way to celebrate that and to celebrate the diversity that we have with people around us. Often people say that the universal language is going to be math, or it's going to be religion. It's like, well, universal languages, if you really think about it, for me at least, a lot of it has to do with music and food and culture, and to see how different and yet so similar these things are across the world. And I think that really helps connect us with different regions, and then to better understand, religious push and pull factors, and looking at different realms within their political geography and what they're dealing with, and just really it helps you put in perspective who you are and who I am, and the things that we have available to us on a day-to-day basis. So that's really the introduction to this course. Now, and this obviously I'm taking advantage of the YouTube interface to provide these lectures to you, which I would really like to give a shout out to PCC, which is the Portland Community College. Their distance education program essentially went through all my videos, the lecture content, and provided captioning to all those appropriate captioning. So I really appreciate that, and I know that you will as well, since we do know that between 20 and 40% of all students don't actually listen to the lectures that they find on YouTube, and they're actually reading the captions instead. So I really want to say thank you to those folks that helped me with that. But I also want to speak very quickly to the modules. I'm utilizing Canvas as my teaching assistant this semester, and I just really wanted to talk about some of the attributes. I use a lot of different interfaces within Canvas, a lot of different areas. So you have discussion boards, short answer responses. You can it varies term to term, because there's just so many tools that are available to me that I can create assessments to engage the context and content with you. So a couple things that I just wanted to point out. In every course, in the first module, there's an area that states it's the welcome letter, and that welcome letter is so important to really dissect, because what I've done in that welcome letter is I've welcomed you to the course through Canvas, but I've also provided a week-by-week outline of content, what to expect, what we're going to be dealing with, how to approach it, how to work ahead, and really how to utilize the tools that will be available to you in Canvas. As an example, almost all discussions are two-part, where you have a main post, and then you have to respond to at least two of your peers. Well, those main posts are generally due on Fridays, and the peer responses are due on Sundays, but be sure to check the calendar and the assignments built within the modules to make sure that's true for your particular section and course. But the discussion boards, I've tried very hard to make them discussion based. So I'm really expecting you to create a conversation with your peers. We're in an online world right now, and we've got students from around the world that are interacting with each other, and that's so exciting. So it's it would be different if we were in a face-to-face class and we could sit there and talk with one another about our experiences, our travels, the places we've gone, where we're going to, language, and everything in between. We can't do that because we're not all on the computer at the exact same time engaging with this context and content. So the discussion boards really allow us an opportunity to speak with one another. And so I'm not looking for those classic, again, like I said, I've taken lots of classes and still do. I cannot stand people go, "Oh, Martha, that was a great discussion. Good job." That's not a response. That's almost patronizing. I'm really looking for you to genuinely respond to people's posts. Read what they're saying. Maybe you agree. Maybe you have an anecdote or a story that goes with that. Or maybe you have a question. Well, I don't understand this. Maybe you can share, your personal experiences and so on and so forth. So I'm really looking forward to those opportunities. The courses will certainly have an assessment based on exams, so make sure you take an eye on that. But really, the last part that I want to share with you is my expectation, not just for you, but what you can expect from me. So these are a couple things that I have taken many classes and things that I found frustrating, or I guess frustrating is the best word I can use to describe. And I really make, what I don't like in classes that I've taken, what I want to be the best part of the classes that you'll take with me. So the first thing is responding to emails. Monday through Friday, I respond within a few hours, if that, maybe even sooner. Weekends, I'm human too, so let me have my weekend once in a while, but I'll do my best to respond by the end of day. Assignments. I try to grade all assignments within 24 hours that they've been submitted. I could never stand when I took courses and I'm waiting weeks and weeks and weeks for assignments to be graded. I can't do that. It drives me insane. So, my promise to you is that I do grade all assignments within 24 hours of the last submission. So that's a great thing. I utilize Canvas for everything, so everything is up to date. And also, we're utilizing YouTube, for our lecture contents. And there's areas, not just to like your videos, but to also comment. Maybe you have, again, like I said, like in your discussions, an anecdote. Maybe your family's from Vietnam, or maybe you're from South Korea, or you're from Germany, wherever you might be from, or your culture might be representative. Comment in those areas. Share your experiences. It's really exciting to be able to speak and to read about your experiences and what we're utilizing an OER, a free textbook, and it's a great textbook, but it's just one voice. And so when we can engage with one another and give you a voice, and for you to share your experiences or things that you want to know, it just makes it so much more exciting and interesting for all of us. So that's kind of the gist. This is really just a quick welcome. It's kind of a little longer than quick, but I get excited about working with you and learning from and with you this term. There's lots of resources within modules. Make sure you're watching all the videos, because there are questions on your exams pulled directly from the lectures. Just make sure you're utilizing all the resources. Take advantage of all of this, because you're going to wish that you did if you didn't. There's so many incredible opportunities that are being provided to you in this course, and all of which are free. This is a zero cost course, with all these free resources. So please take advantage of them, because it will make a world of difference, in your overall grade and performance, and really just understanding of the world that we stand facing. I greatly appreciate your time. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to like this video. Comment below if you've got any additional questions, or just any thoughts, or anything in between, and we'll talk soon.